Does it stay that color? You can't change the color of it, or
Of what?
of the light?
Why would you want to change the color of the light?
He got shades on.
This guy. Come on, cool guy. All you need is a hoodie. Walter White.
We're recording so you can start up whenever.
Let's go.
So, right. Welcome to the Controversial Podcast. I'm here with my boy
Welcome back.
Muhammad,
Episode 2.
Mario.
D. Russ.
There we go. So, starting off with the first topic, we're going to discuss, before we even get into that, remember to like, share, subscribe.
Yeah,
Please
let's take a time out for a quick couple minutes to address how, okay, so as a chaplain, I come across a lot of people who they complain and they we say pass the buck, blame other people for things that they could have done better. And I just want to introduce people into my world. Me, I have low expectations for people, very low expectations. When you have low expectations for people, you're never disappointed. You're never blindsided by people's actions. And I hold people to what I see. If I see you to be a liar, I'm going to trust that you are a liar. I'm not going to say that maybe he won't lie to me. No, he's a liar and he lies to people.
Yeah.
If you're a thief,
you're a thief. I
You're a
expect
thief,
you to
Right.
steal.
From myself.
I think
but if you decide to steal from me, then I can only blame myself.
yeah.
Right.
And I think that's what the issue is. What I think everybody needs to hold themselves accountable with is taking control of your peace. Taking control of your peace. If you've put yourself in a situation to endure the difficulty, then know that you are the only one to blame. Because that person was a liar.
Yeah.
You knew that they lied.
Wonder-
That person was abusive. You knew that they were abusive. So you can't blame that person for being abusive to you when he has a track record of being abusive. Right? And I think this is problematic because a lot of people want to constantly be the victim. And at some point, your perception of reality doesn't change reality. It's your false perception of reality. So just because you feel like you're the victim doesn't mean that you are the victim. Taking control of your peace is basically saying, I'm not going to allow the abuser to abuse me. I'm not going to allow the oppressor to oppress me. I'm going to maneuver in a way that I keep and can take control of my peace and my destiny to as much of the ability that I have. Now, we know that God is ultimately, we say Allah, as Muslims, we say Allah, which means God, but we say God is in control over everything. But he's given all of us free will. So why do we blame God when we make mistakes?
And you're responsible for your own actions.
And we're responsible for our own actions.
Absolutely.
Just how we want that free will, the next person has the free will.
Yeah.
So when Mario decides to punch me in my head, I can't blame God that he punched me in my head. I blame Mario for punching my head, or I blame myself for befriending Mario when I knew that he punches people in the head. Right?
Yeah.
Take control of your peace.
Uh,
And I had made a video some time ago, and it's on my Facebook, Imam Chaplain Muhammad Abu Isa. I got to throw that little plug in there. On
Shout-outs. Link in the description.
never ignoring the red flags, because people get into relationships and they see red flags, but they ignore the red flags because they want the person.
Blindsided by the individual, right?
Now, the person, as handsome as they may be, as beautiful as she may be, showed you red flags that they weren't the person to build with.
yeah, I think that DMX said it best. I take people as they are. What you show me is what I see you as.
Definitely.
Word
That's
up.
just what it is.
Definitely.
Your actions. Yeah.
So, and this is how we take control over our pieces, because now if I keep blaming people for, like, I hear this a lot. A lot of people say, well, people always get over on me. Did you hear that statement? People always get over on me. Like,
Who are you?
What sign is on your head that allows people to want to get over on you? So you have to maneuver differently so that you get a different outcome.
Of course.
Take control over your peace. Your circle, or a circle of friends, or your circle of people you share your energy with doesn't have to be 50, 60, 70 people, right? The more people you have in your circle or in your circumference, the more people who can ultimately harm you, especially if you have a bad choice of character, a bad judge of character. So by taking control over your peace, you say, I acknowledge that I've made these mistakes and I'm no longer willing to make those mistakes anymore because I am no longer able or willing to endure the consequences. Holding yourself accountable and changing the outcome.
How do you feel about that, Mario? What's your opinion on that? I'm sorry.
You can't be for everybody. Nah, I'm very
He's violent.
I wouldn't do that to my people.
Violent.
Listen. I think if you really look at yourself and look who's around you, like you said, you have to be a good judge of character, know who's for you, who's not for you. Evidently, you're not for everyone. Everyone's not for you.
Definitely.
So, humbly speaking, when you interact with people, you got to pick up on that body language. You got to understand the difference between how they act around you when you're by yourself, other than when you're around other people, and how they conduct themselves, how they move. In a relationship, and also with friendships. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's for you. But how do you got to fade them out. You got to do it slowly. You can't just do it all at once. You can't just cut them off. You got to...
I mean, you could.
You could. You could.
I mean, depending on the individual, then your life becomes harder because some people are so emotionally drawn to you that they live through you. You have changed them, influenced them, have made them feel some type of way.
Okay, let me throw out this concept that I have. Right?
Hold on. Let me just get this out. Let me just. One of the things I use to gauge my life is the people around me influence me to be who I am, but I'm my ultimate influencer. So if I'm around a group of people that are not ambitious to be something better than what they are, and I'm around them, I'm just an extra person that's going to be just like them.
Facts.
Okay.
Indeed.
That's like playing pool with
Let me
somebody or chess with
throw this
somebody.
concept out.
agree
because
with that.
These concepts that I throw out from time to time, I try to do my best to apply them in my life, and I really believe that everyone has an agenda.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Every single person has an agenda.
And sometimes it's not hidden.
And sometimes it's not hidden. But
not
the
hidden.
thing about it is not
It's
everyone's
broad.
agenda is a bad agenda.
No.
Not everyone is against you.
No.
Some people are against themselves and they just don't know.
Well,
They're just like, you see a people who have a pattern of bad behavior and bad
Some people are manipulative, though, to a certain extent.
Constantly happen to them.
They'll use you to where they can benefit.
So
That's what you...
okay. So my thing is
That's where you going
find
with
out
this?
the agenda of each person.
yeah.
The
Like-
agenda should be known. Like you can tell loyalty. You can
Yeah.
define loyalty is seen. You can tell sincerity. You can tell a person who has sincere love for you, right? Find out, think about, contemplate on why people want you in their life.
Yeah.
And when you understand that, you understand the roles that are being played, and you can act accordingly, and you can hold them, accordingly, accountable.
Accountable for what the actions are. All right, I'm gonna go with a question here. What would you prefer in a relationship, love or loyalty?
Hold on,
Well-
before you answer, sorry. Now, because if we're gonna do that, let's do it all the way. Baby. Let's do it all the way, baby. So we got to hold on.
Hey,
Hold on.
listen, I'm
So hold on.
starting to you jump
So
in.
I came across something. I was telling Mario about it some time ago, and I think we could play this game. Right? It's called Love Language.
I remember this.
Yes, and I think
This is touching.
as men, I think
in a relationship.
I think we don't express what our love language is enough to hold people accountable. Because men, sometimes we think we feel a little vulnerable by explaining, oh, baby, I want you to do this. Oh, baby, I want you to do that. Can you stop doing this? Can you stop doing that? I never request respect.
Absolutely not.
If she don't respect you, she don't respect you.
So let
Nothing
it
you
go.
can do
That's
about
what you're
it.
saying. Let it go.
And I never request an apology.
Why not? Why
Won't be
wouldn't you
sincere.
request?
Because they don't mean it.
You did it. You did it. So
Exactly.
They don't mean it.
But then again, if you
Because
did it
there's
once or
there's
twice,
for me, there's two types of apologies. You can apologize and be right. I'm sorry I made you feel that way, but I was still correct in what I done.
Yeah.
But because I love you, I'm sorry you're sad, and I'm sorry that I broke your heart. I'm sorry I angered you, but I don't think I did anything wrong. So that's the least a person can do is to be able to cherish your feelings, honor your feelings. Okay, so
But that goes back to the question of what my question was.
well, love language, right?
Well, yeah.
Let's do this, right? So one word that explains what your love language is. So basically, your love language is something that someone does without you having to tell them to do it, and it increases your love for them. Talk to me. What is that?
Okay, what you want to start?
I'll take this. This is an easy
Oh,
one.
it's an easy one? Okay.
Light work.
In a relationship?
In a
Come
relationship.
on, man. When you in a relationship,
Ladies like to know.
Oh, wow. Listen, a home cooked meal, something to bring to work. Man, when you sit down, eat that meal, somebody sees you eating, like, oh, that smells good. Where that came from? You cooked that? Nah, wifey made that. They be like, man, that's great, man.
Okay, so
Sometimes,
food, like to say food is
of
the
course, food.
is the
That's
way
your
to
thing. That's your thing.
Wait till it's-
Forget
so
what
it's hard.
This
carrots.
isn't like a
and
home cooked
oranges.
meal. Come on, man.
all right, so food.
All right.
A woman has to be
One thing she does, yeah.
she has to be teachable. She has to listen to me. If I think I'm a reasonable person,
Mm-hmm.
and I think people say what they want,
Mm-hmm.
and if she don't
Ladies,
listen,
I hope you're paying attention.
if she doesn't listen,
These are some of the things that men are worried about.
then that's a big sign
concerned
that
with
she
it.
doesn't have any concern about what I'm talking about or what I'm.
She has to be teachable.
Mine is more like she has to be compassionate. I need for her to look at my dreams and aspirations as they're hers.
Yeah,
That's my personal opinion.
I'm sitting back on this question.
there's
I need for her to be compassionate. I need for her to
They gotta
understand
learn
that-
compassion over here on this side.
Listen.
Some sister gonna be watching this video like, oh, these bunch of simps.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
playing, guys.
You got to
Okay.
understand something
Oh,
though.
no.
Talk to me.
If you can
Compassionate.
if you can make a man feel like a man, you're,
How does that look though?
How does that look? Okay, well, a man wants to, in a summed up word, a king. You have to look at a man as a king. Nobody questions the king.
You want to be your majesty in the house.
There you go.
Okay.
So nobody questions the king?
Nobody questions the king, but the queen really runs the house, ladies.
But do you call her your grace?
I call her my queen.
Oh, okay.
I call my kids kings
So-
and queens.
I would say, like I said,
princess.
respect is very high for me, right? So I think that's the least a woman can bring to the table, being respectful, right?
Definitely.
And I think respect comes in many different ways. It's how you interact with a person that you say you love at the times of
Intimacy?
not just intimacy,
Nah, just
at
everyday.
the times of
Word.
in everyday dealings.
She's
right?
like, I don't like
When
your
you're-
haircut. I
when
don't
you're-
think I
when
want to
you're
kiss
upset.
you today. Wow.
When you're upset, like if a woman really respects a man, even when she's upset, she'll watch what she say to him.
Facts.
She'll be-
Facts.
Word.
She's
Cautious
very
of the
cautious
words.
of what comes out of her mouth because she's very, very, very in tune with the fact that she doesn't want to ever disrespect him. Now it may happen. I'm not saying she won't disrespect him. It may happen, but she's more cautious. She's more.
Are we talking about
mindful.
kind of women we deal
Okay,
with?
go on.
'Cause,
Give us another
Latina
one.
women are a little bit, they kind of edgy, you know what I'm saying? They're
A little edgy.
Oh, yes, they'll speak their mind and go in on you.
Well, that's
Well,
the same.
okay.
Same with African American woman. There nowadays.
Man.
Nowadays, we're gonna go deep in this one. Nowadays, they're more driven to be more than the man. Not all, but a lot of.
You
They're
think so?
more
Okay.
driven to be more than the man, so we become less valuable to them.
Hold up,
So
before you
I don't
go
think
on,
we have
say-
less value. I think you give
No.
yourself.
Before you
I think
go
a
on
lot of
with
men give themselves less value.
Before we go on
No,
with that,
no,
I
you
would
can't give
definitely
yourself-
love to hear the some feminine feedback on those on what we're talking about right
Hold
now.
on, so
Like
this is gonna go
common.
off the subject. This is
Okay.
where it's gonna
Like
get
common.
Exactly. This is where it's
'Cause
gonna
I
get confrontation.
Share.
We live in a day and age where women are making money remotely. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
You know where
Yes.
I'm going with this.
Okay.
Hey.
There's these pages where they subscribe
Okay, hold on,
you,
hold on.
and you know I was going.
So
You got to keep it organic.
They're
Let's not
entrepreneurs.
stay away from the topic.
Let's run this love language back around one more time.
That was love language.
There's a lot of simps out here. I'm sorry, guys.
But he's right though.
Wow, Queens, guys are from Queens, man.
Confrontational.
Guys are from Queens. I think
We're gonna come back to that though.
I
we
think-
got to come back around to that.
I
Definitely.
think strength. I think strength for me, a strong woman, not aggressive but strong.
Confrontational.
Strong woman is definitely love language for me, because in my absence, I know that they can do the job that needs to get done,
That
and
reflects
still
on what he
honor,
just
and
said,
still
though.
honor you.
Are they willing
Yeah,
to learn from
exactly.
you?
No. That's studious. That's like teachable.
Yeah, but he's being, so to speak.
No, I'm saying I'm gone. Who pays the bills? How does the
Right.
house?
Oh, of
still
course.
stays
Yeah.
afloat?
I need a woman to know how to
Who raises
balance
the
a
children?
checkbook.
You see
Of
what I'm
course.
saying? Yeah.
Of
If
course.
you can't balance a checkbook and know what we have and what we need to keep on distributions every month towards our bills,
You know
it
something.
means to live.
You
Give
know
us another
something.
one. Give us another one, Mary.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll go back around. Get back to me. We'll talk.
Another one. Man, we keeping on love language.
Yeah,
Love language.
All
This
right.
is an ongoing.
Word.
The way a woman cares for your children when she gets off work. A lot of men are the breadwinners and they work long hours. Evidently, to come home to a nice, cozy home, everything in order,
I have a question about
with
that.
peace of mind.
I have a question after he has a question.
It's different.
Go ahead.
It's what do you think that you want to come home to when you come home?
Okay.
That's
love
a whole
language.
nother question.
Because as soon as
Okay.
you touch that door to come into your house, the experiences that she put forward for you in that environment, after whatever you dealt with to make your money, whatever we have to deal
Your
with,
solidarity.
traffic,
That's what you're trying to get at. Your solidarity.
No, he wants a
Solidarity.
peaceful. He wants
I just
tranquility when he
saying-
reaches the house, but he's talking about he wants
From the time
He
you,
wants a
you put your
motherly-
foot on the doorstep, you see
motherly-
things organized. You can tell a lot about a woman or individual. Same thing with a man. How organized things are from the time you step foot in the house.
Well, let me ask
You
you
know,
a question.
you see your slippers right there, being treated like a king. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your needs are. Your she runs your bath water. You want to take a shower, whatever the case may be.
Hop on one leg.
Bark like a big dog. All right. I mean, in retrospect,
Hop on one
honestly,
leg, bark
love
like a dog.
language for me is how one another can feel that energy that you leave behind. Your energy's gonna be. It's always gonna be like some type of like.
It's the mark she leaves on your heart.
Of course.
All right.
Well,
so
let me
Jay,
ask you
go
a
ahead.
question. So, are you talking about how she treats y'all kids together, or how she treats,
Individually.
or how she treats your kids,
Yeah.
like kids?
I
that
see
you
what you're
have
saying.
with another female.
Well, that's maternal instincts right there. And
so?
you should, of course, because you can't treat. That's the same way if you go to a store, you see a child there and they have a candy, and you buy your kid a candy.
Yeah.
I would buy both kids the candy
Yeah.
just to keep it equal.
But
a lot
it
of
is-
women complain about this though.
But then again, you have to be careful with
A lot
other
of women
parents seeing
complain
that.
and men as well. They say that they don't want someone else raising their child.
But
Right.
but
And yeah, it's a real issue.
yeah.
It is
All right. So your love language for the second time.
my love language. Outside of I'll pass. I'll leave it to you.
All right.
Come back to me. Come back.
All
to
right.
Me.
So
Say it and I'll go.
my personal love language is a woman that loves herself.
Self-love.
I need a woman with self-love, because with self-love it makes me love her even more because she loves herself.
So would you say self-love or say confident?
Nah, I don't want you to be too confident. No, I mean, because confident can be a deal breaker because she can treat you less than because she's too
No,
confident.
I don't think so.
Not all females.
I mean,
but
what-
there are.
Confidence is a power, right?
Yeah.
The higher that power goes and what they do with that power is going to be an individual.
I need
They'll
to-
set the narrative
then-
with that,
then,
though.
Then I'm just going to leave it on
their own
self-love. I don't listen. I want you to be confident
agree.
because I want you to be a lady outside, and you know what and I mean in the house. So if you walking around sweatpants in the house, I'm cool with that. If you walking around in what I like to see you in, then I'm cool with that also. But when you go outside, I need you to present yourself as you own your area. You own your love.
What area is that though? Does she
What?
own?
Okay, she wants to own everything that she touches. That means if she writes on a piece of paper, she want her penmanship to be perfect. Because I want her to think that she's higher than what she is because I think I'm higher than what I am right now.
I think that's confidence. I think her. I mean, I know for a lot of men
I
I
agree
talk
with
to,
that.
I think a lot of men will say that, confidence is one of the biggest, physical attractions that a woman can display.
Confidence.
Yeah.
I-
So for basically a woman who loves themselves to the point where she doesn't have to put anybody down.
Yeah, yeah.
But even her energy shows that she loves herself, and that's attractive.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Like
attractive.
the way that she carries
She
herself.
she doesn't have to.
I'll agree with that.
She's not thinking about all throughout the day who's gonna cheat on her, who's gonna do this, because she knows she's queen.
Okay, I replaced that. I'm going with the confidence. I don't need you. I don't need you to think I'm cheating on you, because if you're not beautiful and you don't feel beautiful, I don't know how to love you, because your love comes from yourself first. I'm sorry. Go ahead though. It's on you now.
I need a woman to, make me
Feel
make
like
me
man. Feel like
bacon and eggs in the morning.
Oh wow.
You want food?
Bacon and eggs in the morning. Not food. Not
Bacon
food.
and eggs.
Bacon and eggs in the morning.
Hopefully beef bacon, turkey bacon.
I need,
I'm more of a strawberry guy and kiwis.
Because outside of doing this, I don't know if you folks know me too well. But outside of doing this, I do work for a living. I work very hard for a living. And, just having that concern about whether or not I
ate. Oh my
is
God.
a big deal.
The small things, lady. The
that goes
small
back to-
things.
that's what I'm saying.
And that's why.
That goes back to,
Yeah, and
back to
that's
what I'm
why.
saying,
And
though.
that's why love language is important. I would personally advise. If there's a woman who's watching this podcast, that she set up a dinner date, set up a lunch date, a brunch or whatever. Sit your significant other down and ask him what is his love language, and then not only that, tell him what your love language is.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
Let
definitely
him
a good
know
dialogue to have.
What
with her.
are some of the things that basically causes your love to increase for him or her?
Yeah.
And the brother should do it as well. At the same time, this opens the door to comfortable conversation.
Dialogue, yeah.
And I think a lot of times,
healthy-
a lot of
healthy
families
too, yeah.
struggle with healthy dialogue.
Yeah. Because
Folks out there, listen to
Babe,
each
I
other.
don't like when you do that.
Listen to each other.
Baby, that
Don't
bothers
argue
me.
with each other.
Yes.
That bothers me.
Yes. The small things.
Sister, like, queen, don't. That bothers me. And that's important because men don't know what's going on in your head.
At all.
Not
And
at
I
all.
would tell you, I would go
Belligerent.
even further to say, unless you have a problem, men don't care what's going on in your head.
Word.
So
I
if
will-
you're
I
not,
will- I will-
if you're not gonna
I will
tell
agree
him,
with
Our
that.
our jobs is to protect, provide.
if you're not gonna tell him, if you're not gonna tell the
the
man,
3 P's.
your significant other
Talk
what's
to
actually
me.
going on in your head, then you cannot hold them accountable.
At all.
Okay, let's go into the movie review of the week.
Sure.
I personally think that we should do Coming to America.
Let's go to movie review of the week.
I haven't seen it yet.
Was there echo in the room?
So-
I mean, we just said
I haven't
Yeah,
seen it
we
yet.
got to stick to this because I think we had some.
he said he wanted to do Coming to America.
I like that. What's
The
name? Everybody
remake
didn't see it.
of the
See,
original.
the reason why they wanted
I
to
did
come to
not see
America is because
It has that part where she hops on one leg and
nah, not that
barks.
part. Not that part.
You talking about Coming to America 2 or Coming to America?
I
Shout
didn't-
out to Tiana Taylor.
Well, one, I think a lot of people still didn't see it, and it's still fairly new.
Don't
And I
miss
think
out.
this
Don't ruin it, right?
This movie, you want to, I don't like,
Spoil it.
I don't like spoilers. I don't like that. I think this movie right here is going to resonate with many of us, and I think it's important to actually have these conversations because I think the whole purpose of the movie was this conversation.
Did Arsenio Hall come out back in it as well?
Okay, so I'm gonna,
I mean,
you gotta watch it. Man.
You gotta watch it, man. I ain't
Okay,
gonna
so
spoil alert.
the movie review of the week is American Skin.
Oh,
Tell me about it.
oh, man.
American Skin. Did everybody watch it?
I've seen it.
I have not seen the movie. I don't watch movies. I'm in the foxhole like
Okay, you
soldier.
got
I don't
What's
see
going on?
anything.
He's
And
sitting in
normally-
the bunker right there.
See, that's the
Yeah.
thing too. Is
Yeah.
normally I don't watch movies, but when people bring certain movies to my attention, or if I see it come across the trail or something like that, and I see something that is very thought provoking,
Right.
and this is what I do on Facebook sometimes. I throw out these thought-provoking topics to have people chime in and to have these discussions. And this is a discussion I think that the movie was based on. I think the whole purpose of the movie was to have this discussion, right? So since we're here, and the movie's been out for a few weeks now, maybe a couple months now, and I think this is the movie to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's based on a retired veteran and father taking matters into his own hands after a police officer kills his only son.
Hurt.
Wow, that's touching.
That right
Hurt.
there, right? You actually serve the country. You sacrifice your child to go do that. You get overseas. You come back.
You lose your child.
And then you lose your child to the people you just protected. Not only that, to the authority in charge. So it's starring and directed by Nate Parker as Lincoln Jefferson, Omari Hardwick as Omar Scott, Shane Paul McGee as Jordan King, and Bo Nab as Officer Mike. Now, mind you, all of these actors, there's other people also played in the movie, but
course.
all of these actors right here did an excellent job. Excellent job in the movie. And so if you would have asked me what I thought about the movie, I thought the movie was a great movie. Not only was it great, I thought the movie was, like I said, thought-provoking. I thought the movie was unfortunate.
Of course.
Because normally I'm not moved by fictional characters.
Was that his only child?
This is a fictional story. Like, this didn't really happen in real life.
Right.
But
No,
you
we
can see
can't
it happening.
identify who it happened to in real life. We can't. They didn't pinpoint it to somebody.
No,
It
there's
is a true story,
It is a true story. Just
but they didn't give a name to the
live it.
person.
just wasn't his story. Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
And I think that, and mind you, the father, who was Lincoln Jefferson in the movie, he did everything possible to put his child in a situation where something like this wouldn't happen. Something like this wouldn't happen, right? Which makes it more sadder, right?
Right.
Because when this happens, when a person says, you know what, man, let me just get my child out of what we call the hood, and out of the
Urban
ghetto,
area.
out of urban area, and put him in the suburbs, or put him in a school in the suburbs. The father he just left the army. He was extremely skilled.
He went to work at a school.
He went to work at his
so
school.
his son can go to the
So
school.
his son could work. His son could go to the school.
That's crazy.
I forgot that lady's name right now. She was actually
so he was
in
working at the
prison.
school
She
that
was
he
in
wanted his
prison.
son to go to.
She was in
his son?
prison
Yeah.
because she enrolled her
He was a
son
janitor.
in a school that was out of the zone that she lived in.
And went to jail.
So he did everything possible to get his child into that school so that his child may have a better chance in life. And
Right.
he gets shot and killed by the police.
So let's just ask a question on that, right? If now I mean this is confrontational. If you were that parent, how would you approach that situation? We'll start with you.
I couldn't say. I mean, honestly, I would imagine that I would definitely have thoughts of handling exactly like how you said that guy handled his situation.
Yeah.
That would definitely be. I don't play with my kids like that. So if people are messing with them, it's going to be an issue for me.
I think a
big
lot of
way.
parents are
Don't play like that. Nah,
willing to throw it all away for the child.
definitely.
Definitely.
Or if not
Definitely.
throw it all away, deeply consider throwing it all away.
Word.
And I think that I remember when I was in Syracuse, we used to have these discussions on police brutality and all these different cases that were happening. And the moderator, she said something that was prolific. She said, "The sentiment you're feeling now is because as a people we're mourning." Blew me away
Absolutely.
because you're not allowed to mourn.
not allowed at all.
You're not
at
allowed
all.
to say, I feel bad about this. You're not allowed to say, listen, man. Like, I remember having a conversation with my sons when we was there. I was like, listen, maybe you shouldn't wear your hoodie like this. Maybe you should, pull your pants up a little bit. But no one is asking any other ethnic group that maybe you should change your behavior as well, because you're not allowed to be a child anymore because you may be perceived as a threat.
Now, I got something to say about that. Do you think because of the way that what our kids are around, or let's say,
Faced with?
huh?
Like what you're faced with?
Yeah, no. Like the environment that they're around, because I do realize that it takes a village to raise a child.
Definitely.
So what the kid sees is what they mimic. And if you grow up in a place that's more suburban or more collectively together, you have your persona is different. You're not gonna wear your pants off your butt, stuff like that. Now, I mean, you're put together a little.
Your demeanor is definitely different.
Yeah. So, do you think that, with having to have these conversations, do you think that it is something that we should do, or should we not have those conversations and let our kids live their lives as children?
Well, just going into that, I mean, when we were growing up, we lived relatively close together when we were kids.
Yeah.
How many kids were getting shot by police back then?
Yo,
That's
crazy.
I mean, so
that's crazy. We did get harassed though.
We got harassed.
We got harassed.
We weren't getting shot like
crack.
that.
We got beat up a couple times. I did.
And we wore the do-rags, we wore the pants down, we did all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about it from the standpoint of he did everything that he felt like he needed to do, was he drawing his child into a point where he would come into contact with an officer that was not used to his kind?
Okay,
being there.
That's interesting. No,
because it's a what's the name inside the movie where he's actually conversating with his son, and his son is on like Skype or something. He's on a computer having a conversation, talking about, when you have interactions with the police, what to do. And when your kid is more intelligent, they look into what the rules actually are.
Yeah.
And so it was more like he was too smart to realize that you're African American.
Yeah.
So his son was having a conversation with one of his cousins who obviously was going to school in a different, school zone, right? Different district.
Yeah.
So when he was having this conversation about, police brutality, his son was basically saying, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer that question. You don't have to do this. So he was a little bit combative verbally, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was a little bit combative verbally because he knew the law. But the conversation that really has to happen is
cops don't care about law.
The difference between the law and knowing the law and knowing how to stay safe is what's important. Because sometimes over the race issue,
you should exercise your rights. We want to keep those.
Over the race issue, we got to look at the abuse of power issue.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that also plays a part in why people are dying. So like Mario says, you got to exercise your right, but if your right is going to get you killed, then is it really worth exercising?
I mean,
because we don't know
be a little more passive about the situation.
No one knows the outcome. And I mean, personally, I think that once you see that the officer is that combative, then this is not the time to have that debate. On who's right or who's wrong.
No.
Yeah.
You have the gun, you have the badge. I need to get home safe. You need my ID? Give you my ID. What's my name? What's my name? I can say, no, I don't want to give you that information, sir. I don't understand why you're pulling me over.
Mm-hmm.
But that
will put them automatically on edge.
You see what I'm saying? Like
edge.
They will
But we live in a
automatically
day and
start
age
calling
now that
back.
they have all
He got
these.
a gun. It was a cell phone. That's what happened in the
But they
movie.
have these body cams now, so
Body cams that do nothing.
That
They're
wasn't-
showing you people die on the camera.
absolutely. But
make
one
you
of the
even
first
more
things
fear.
I would have done as a parent would hire an attorney.
So
hire an attorney.
only
Yeah,
thing
of course.
only thing you get out of that is a dollar sign.
Of
Or
course.
is
That's
a
another
life
thing,
worth
too.
a dollar sign? Okay, we can get into the what is Freddie Gray? No, not Freddie Gray. What's the previous one that just happened when the guy kneeled on his neck?
Talking about George Floyd.
George Floyd,
Their
right?
family got what? $27 million
$27 million.
settlement.
Does $27 million bring back
person
your
back
loved one?
negative? Of course
No.
it
not.
doesn't.
So
No.
getting an attorney does what?
Take a third of what you make.
And
It takes a third of what you earn.
And worst of all, it won't,
And then
it won't
ultimately-
get you justice.
And
It won't get you justice.
And it does not.
And I think over
Hold on. The blue wall has so much power over everything else that us as a regular civilian, we don't have the same rights that they do. If they feel threatened and they kill you, which you should be more scared of the person with the gun, not the person that could possibly have the gun.
that's why I think that they should be held more responsible.
They should
They
definitely
should be held to a greater,
more,
a
a greater standard because
standard.
they go to training to learn how to read body language and so on and so forth, and they never use it.
With
They
that
just
being
lose
said,
it. Use the fact of-
I
go
don't
ahead.
want to interrupt though, but I want to share this with everyone, our viewers.
Confrontational.
Yes, please. I want you to understand. I seen a video that was kind of shocking. It was on one of these websites. I don't want to give out the name, but showed a female that was a victim of domestic violence, and it was in Queens actually too. It was I think it was
This today?
somewhere in Jamaica. This was somewhere. It was in this year. I don't know if it was early February, but
Okay.
African American female, looked like she was about 30 years of age, accompanied by two Caucasian, middle-aged, well, let's say almost the same age to middle-aged cops, NYPD. They're outside the residence. This is being filmed once again from the body cam, from the cops. They show both body cams. They walk into the house to make sure that she was going to be safe from a significant other or whatever the case may be, a domestic partner. And they cleared the house, and they were asking a series of questions to ask her, okay, is the gun in this house, is he known to have the gun in his house or whatever the case may be, or does he have it on him? She was like, I'm not sure, whatever the case may be. So they had advised her to change the locks to the doors because of whatever was going on. So they was going to stick around enough time till she get a locksmith to come in and handle the work. Long story short, man, homeboy comes with the burn on him.
To the house?
He walked right through the door and started blazing.
With the cops in there?
He shot the cops, bro. He shot the cops up. He just lit them up. I think they got a couple of shots off, but he came. This was in Jamaica. I seen it on, like I said, one of these websites, and it was sad, man. It was crazy. So in every situation, everything is different. I mean, it depends on the temperament of the person. It depends on the situation.
No, definitely.
The history.
And I think that's why you have to put it
It
in
was sad.
perspective.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That's why you have to put it in perspective
Yeah.
that cops are putting their lives on the line, and it's not an easy job to do.
And they're not all bad cops out there.
And it's not all
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
cops. So we
Yes.
have to throw that out
Even
there.
though we know about the bad ones.
Yeah,
But I think what bothers everyone is the lack of transparency in reform. If they're able to say, okay, listen, so and so was killed by the police, and these are the penalties that are coming, and these are the changes that are being made so that this doesn't happen again. People can say, you know what, that's my loved one. I'm sorry, it happened to him. The cops didn't mean to, kill him, but it ended up in a fatality. And now I know with these new changes and this reform that there's a possibility that this won't happen again. Or less.
No,
Well, I think the
history
pro-
always repeats itself under any
Well, I think the problem
other
is
circumstances. I think
like you can't change fear, you can't change intention. If
Intimidation.
there are people that have an aggressive temperament and they feel some sort of way about the person that they're talking to, you can't change that. You can't
definitely
change. You
can't,
can't change
nah.
how they're gonna react to that
At all.
No, there's no amount of training that's going to protect any kind of department from having employees come in that have biases or
but
it's impossible.
but also on
But what do you
on-
think those biases come from?
But also on that note, do you think that the police could have did their job a little better? Because if you have a domestic issue, somebody has to be what do you call it? Contained. Somebody should have been in handcuffs, and 9 times out of 10, as we know of being a man, it's normally the man. And once you hear about a weapon, somebody should be looking out for that person if he's not there. So that was 2 things: bad policing, and wrong place, wrong time.
Well,
Because, and when I say bad, I don't mean in a negative condescend. I mean in the factor of they could have approached the situation as if it was a crime scene. They didn't do that, knowing that he had a weapon in New York State. What was his job description? Like, why did he have it?
I would have to actually read or that.
Yeah, I have to
that
see the
actual
whole thing,
situation because it's like we want cops to be humane,
right.
but at the same time, if you had that job, you would want to make sure you get home safe as well. Right?
Yeah, that's what
so
I'm
I
saying.
don't know why they were actually helping her fix her locks. That's not their job.
Not at all.
You see what I'm saying? So it seems like there's more to that story, and I would have to.
I feel like I would feel like if my life was in peril,
Yeah.
that I would just leave the environment altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Not even talking about from the standpoint of the police officers.
No,
just
her.
talking about her.
Yeah, I'm
If
going-
You felt like your life's in peril, leave.
Yeah.
There's no property. There's no apartment. There's no things
That's
inside
worth your
the
life.
apartment
Yeah.
that's worth your life or anybody else's. So just leave. Get out.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. You're driving in the car
Mm-hmm.
because this dude's a hothead, right? Cops can stop us. You're extremely combative. You can't be combative all the time, but
I'm changing.
yes, I'm changing.
Trying.
So you're
I don't get pulled over no more.
You're driving in the car. You get pulled over.
Right.
The officer seems a little antsy. What do you think can be done to de-escalate the situation?
The only thing that could possibly be done in that sort of situation
Show your hands.
just do all the stuff. Roll down
Show
all the
your hands,
windows.
yeah.
Make sure your hands are always in sight, and just let the cop do his thing until he gets to a point where he can't bother you anymore because there's nothing to bother you about.
Yeah.
So when he has to bring, eventually, I feel like the cop eventually has to bring himself back to the point where it's a traffic stop.
Yeah,
It's a traffic
yeah.
stop, and what did I stop this person for?
Yeah. So me, whenever I get pulled over, I'm not gonna mention about taking my badge out, but whenever I get pulled over, the first thing I do is, if it's at nighttime, I turn lights on in the car.
Yeah, yeah.
Word.
Turn your
Turn
lights
the
on.
car. I let the cops know. I'm anticipating their anxiety, right? I let the cops know. Lights on. You're at friendly terrain. I'm not combative. I roll down the windows, right? And I stop the car, right? And I don't make any moves unless
Any sudden moves.
I'm requested. So you know how sometimes you go, and when they start approaching the car, you open your glove department to take your license and registration. No,
Right.
let them request it.
Right.
So I do ask some questions, and that's how I gauge the temperature. I gauge the temperature by asking the questions. Excuse me, officer, why are you stopping me? And then they explain why they're stopping me, right? And
Is this all the time?
all the time,
Oh, okay.
all the time. Unless I show them my credentials,
Do you feel safe when you're being stopped? And what's your anxiety at?
if we're gonna be 100% true, yes, I do.
You feel safe?
Yeah, but my safety can vary within the first 10 seconds of an encounter. I can understand. I will know the temperament from the cop. Then, like I remember two situations that happened a couple years ago. One, my son was with me, and the other one he wasn't. Right.
Right.
And he was like literally a week apart. And I got stopped. Chinese officer, he stops me, and I know I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm normally not, my anxiety is low. I didn't do anything wrong. You have a job to do, no problem. I understand it. I understand it's a job that they're trying to do. So they pulled me over, and he, I asked, why is he pulling me over?
Right.
He says, license registration. I gave him license registration. He says, okay, mister. Imam Chaval Muhammad Abu Isa. And then he goes back to the car. He says, 1 minute, goes to the car. He sees my driving record he said, his words, impeccable. He says, I'm only stopping you because your light is out. I said, it's not the left light out because I literally just got that fixed today. He said, yes. I'm not going to give you a ticket. I'm just going to give you a warning because you seem like, a pretty decent guy. And, your license. You said, basically, your history was impeccable. Okay. Another situation. It went smooth, right? Went on my way.
Right.
Now, mind you, if he would have just decided to give me a ticket, he still was just doing his job, and I couldn't hold him accountable for anything else. If the light was out, that's my responsibility. I have the light fixed, not his responsibility. I can't hold him accountable for that. I can only hold myself accountable for that. And we mentioned in the last episode,
I beg to differ.
Holding yourself accountable, right? Okay, so the other situation, I'm driving.
Right.
Traffic is moving. It's piling up, but it's moving.
Right.
I'm passing an intersection. I have a whole family in the car. Passing an intersection. I'm passing the police, right? As the traffic is moving, I get stuck in the intersection, right? Mind you, only reason I went.
Are you merging on to the highway or whatever?
No,
he's trying to go
Yeah.
travel straight.
I'm trying to go straight,
Oh, okay.
right? Let's say I'm trying to go north. So east and west can't move now, not only because of me, because there's a car next to me as well, right? But he profiled me to give the ticket to.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it was, I had religious attire on, and I think that was the reason. And it was in a predominantly Jewish area too, but, who knows? The issue, my only question was, in that point was, I'm closer to passing an intersection than this guy who came behind me and is basically a side of me. Why did you choose to give me the ticket, not him? He said, you're obstructing traffic. I said, but am I the only one obstructing traffic? And didn't you see that I was trying to, I had to keep going. I couldn't go back.
What was the other person, if you don't mind me asking?
I didn't remember. I don't know.
So you just sitting over there just.
But the thing about it was, when I asked him why, he said his whole demeanor was, I'm asking the questions, license and registration.
So he's the king of the situation.
So I got a thing. A thing, right? And it bothers me. Like this is why I say
his ego into
control your.
So he set the tone for that conversation.
Control your peace, because you can say the most disrespectful things to me, and normally 90% out of 100, it's not going to bother me. But once I see signs of aggression, it bothers me. And he was extremely aggressive, and I'm in my head. It's like, I don't care about your badge, homie. Like, don't do that. don't take me to that. Like, don't do that. And I said, you know what? After I got out the car and I was gonna engage him verbally, I realized now I'm making the mistake.
Right.
Hold on, you stepped out the car?
I got out the car.
Oh, you damn near got shot.
That's what I'm saying. I realized at that point I was making a mistake because
Correct.
I could easily file a report. I could easily just pay the ticket or dispute the ticket. Me being combative with this officer, whether it be verbally, physically, or whatever, it wouldn't change anything.
He'll just put you in the zone where now
he was trying to get a character, maybe.
Now, mind you, no one else in the car could drive.
Oh man,
you see what I'm saying? So
he's the DD, designated driver.
I would have took a bigger L trying to be more combative or engaging. So when I got out the car, I realized, you know what, it's not going to end well. So I got back in the car.
He's talking about
You
me.
made the right decision.
Yeah, I got back in the car. But we all been in situations where.
Did you get a ticket?
Yeah, I got the ticket.
Damn.
For blocking the box, 2 points.
Yeah, but the thing
Nothing, though.
about it
I'll take the
was,
2 points.
The thing about it was,
you get a lot of tickets.
I'm the flavor of the month, though.
My God is merciful. My God is merciful. So
I got out of that
It
one.
only
Yeah.
cost me $125.
It was a parking ticket.
when I walked into the courtroom, the
prosecutor.
they have the lawyers there and the traffic courts.
Yes.
Basically saying, you could just take, if you agree to pay this, I can get the judge to not give you any points, right? And I said, I'm not doing that because I know I didn't do anything wrong, right? And then the judge saw that. He saw my like response, and he looks at the ticket and says, "There's a mistake in the writing."
Oh man.
Oh, so it's null and void.
Null and void.
None void. Oh.
God was good.
Finding my way downtown, looking around.
And that's why he was trying to get a reaction. If you would have got out that car and be like, listen, man.
Yeah, so
Start pointing your finger into his vest.
Nah.
What you say?
so I think
Nigga
there's
went to
definitely
jail, gunshot.
we have to definitely be careful on how we address or we respond to these type of situations.
Can we
But let me ask you something. Anybody has? I mean,
there's an elephant in the room that we
yeah, we got to talk about it.
What's good?
We got to talk. Somebody has been. I mean, I've been in situations other than that where it was basically police brutality.
Yeah.
oh wow.
And I dealt with it in the right way, but it wasn't
Right.
nowhere near what you've been through.
Oh man.
Nowhere near what you've been through.
Do you
So,
want to
Do you?
before we get on to that, I would like for the audience to like, share, subscribe,
Man,
and
it's been some moments,
thank
man.
you.
Which
It's
one?
definitely been
Thank you
some
very
moments,
much.
and we here to talk, and it's confrontational for a moment, for a reason, because not everything that is
Well,
can be spoken about is easy to speak about.
Right. Right. That's true.
and
under
we
those-
also want to give y'all a gauge to know how to conduct a situation when you're into it too. Also, so
Hold on, before you go on, Mario. For my audience, of people who actually follow me, they never see me down with my head down like this. So this is a new experience. Trying to let people know that no matter how high your level is in clergy or your positions in life or scholarship, your level of being a sheikh or whatever, we live with real life situations.
yes.
And when we were having this conversation in the house or anywhere else, we would have real conversation. So, with that being said, Mario, what you been
talk
through, brother?
about it.
What you been through, brother?
Oh man, these guys were there that night, man. They was there for that. That was a
Yup.
birthday of mine back in like 2000 and what was it, like 8 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Somewhere around that. 2008. This was my birthday. It was November. We had went. Actually, it was a surprise birthday party that my wife put together, and she got in contact with you guys to. We was gonna go out celebrate my birthday at this club in Queens, and
Great night. Started off.
man,
Definitely did.
we were having a good time. We basically had the club to ourselves that day.
Yeah. Amazing.
It got a little
light
packed
night.
a little later on. Yeah, it was a light night. So,
So
there was a little overruly bounces in there too, but we'll get into that.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
man.
so what happened?
Long story short, man, we were enjoying ourselves, dancing, carrying on. Matter of fact, they had a photographer that night that they would take a picture of us. We were posing.
Yeah,
chilling.
it was a couple of them, and then
I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
well,
know.
Man,
So we went.
Let's
out
just
to
get
the
right
car.
to the
We went
source,
out to the
man.
went out to the car.
Take a deep breath,
and then we
brother.
came
Yeah,
back,
yeah,
and then
I
what happened after that?
y'all know I gave y'all the uncut raw. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, that's what we
that
want
was
here.
something that we did.
We
We
want
ain't
them
gonna
to see
I ain't
the
gonna
same
share
thing.
that like that with them, but I'll tell you, man, it was an experience, a birthday I never forgotten. That
In a good way
I didn't. It affected me tremendously. It took me a long time to get over being around people, police. Bro, I didn't trust cops for a while. It took for me to get the job I have now that I felt like I had succumbed to certain things and said, you know what, now I'm a part of, who I am, like
Something
in the
bigger,
city.
yeah.
So would
I
it
didn't
be
feel affected as much as I felt like just
would it be exaggerated to say that you were accosted and beat by the police?
of course not. That's exactly what happened. They could tell you.
So-
Man,
Yeah, it went sour. It went always sour. It was unnecessary. It was very unnecessary. It was
Bro.
they judged us from the beginning.
it was like the bouncers and the owner called the cops. It was so orchestrated and well timed.
and well timed.
it was
When
like-
I tell you, when we walked from our car back over there for a second, meanwhile all the females we were with were in there. It was just us
In the
three.
club,
We
yeah.
just
They just
I-
wouldn't let us back in for nothing. No
I
reason.
can't
So that's
tell
how
you.
that's how the incident
That's
started.
how it started. Yeah.
So
Of
was it
course.
like a
It was a
It was
little.
the
it
bouncers,
a
the
little,
bouncers.
well, the
It's a little
bouncers
too
got in
much.
my face.
was it like a screaming match? Was going back and forth? Like how did
They didn't want to allow us back in there. We told them, listen, we have another part of
Party.
our party that's with
Yeah.
us. That
It was a verbal altercation,
Yeah.
and we were trying to discuss.
De-escalate.
I get shoved. I get shoved.
By the cop.
No,
No.
About a bouncer.
By the bouncer.
and the owner.
When
He got in my face and shoved me. So now I'm focused like this. I'm like, yo, you got my full attention now. You just put your hands on me. And
when
that's
that
I got-
happened, the police pulled up right away. They were just
Yeah.
like,
And they
And,
was pretty
I
much
knew they
like
was
there
there,
already.
but I didn't expect what was gonna come next.
So they kind of,
And-
you think they
and-
called the police? Or
and
was
they-
just random?
Absolutely.
They must patrol the club itself.
Man,
because
listen, man.
it's not really a good neighborhood.
Which is normal.
It wasn't
They
that
had
bad.
that-
That neighborhood
they
is
had
not
their-
that
they
bad.
had the batons out
It was in Ravenswood.
already.
Yeah, but that was
Oh, they already had the
block
ra-
from Ravenswood.
They
Man,
already
still
had
the same
nothing
thing?
happen.
Hold on a second.
Hold on,
we
yeah,
we
well,
going
yeah,
away from
yeah.
from the reality though.
Yeah,
One cop car showed up immediately fast after I got shoved.
he was ready.
But
there.
in total, it was like about
Yeah, they were
4 or
already
5
there.
cop
Ford,
cars that
yeah.
showed up.
Yeah, that's very true.
All right, I got shoved. I was like, okay. I was like, so what's the problem? You know, I'm looking at him like, hey man, don't put your hands on me. What's the problem? Now I get hit with a baton right in the temple. Boom, I get
When
clocked.
all the other officers
Officers
pulled
And I'm
up,
talking about
Yeah.
the
the two officers
retractable
that were
baton.
already there.
The retractable baton.
So
That's
were
a
you-
little ball point on
Were
it.
you combative at that, or you just like verbally upset?
Oh, no,
Like, you
I
just
was-
express your anger verbally.
I was just defending myself at that point. I already got my hands. I got somebody put their hands on me. I'm like, I'm watching what's going on with the person who's being the aggressor. And
So
then
the
I
cop
never thought the
basically-
cop was gonna
yeah.
come and blindside me like that. Hit me.
The
Boom.
cop came and it was like nothing. They didn't say nothing. It just got straight to aggressive.
He hit me
Straight
so
aggressive
hard
from
with
the
that
door.
right side of my
Didn't
head.
try to mend anything. Just went straight in like as if I seen somebody attacking him. I'm not asking no questions. I'm on his side. Whatever I don't care if he's wrong about the situation.
And in the moments, the
I'm going
bouncers
at the
got in
other
both of their
person.
faces, so it was like pointless. Like they
Yeah.
couldn't do nothing. They were just trying to block them from trying to help me.
Yeah.
Because I got hit. I didn't go down right away. I was just like, oh, and then I got tackled, and I had about 4 or 5 cops on top
Cops
of me.
on top of him, yeah.
Dude, I passed out. They threw me in the back of the cop car. They beat me up. I done
So-
lost my watch, getting handcuffed and everything.
So you're saying once you was thrown into the cop car, the beating didn't stop.
I could tell you that the last thing I remember is getting thrown into the back of the cop car. I don't know what else happened after that. It
Cop
was
car
just
or paddy wagon.
It was a cop car.
Cop car, yeah.
Okay, maybe made me think about the Freddie Gray situation. That's why I asked. Which is a tactic that some of the cops they use to endure more pain. They know you're already beat. They throw you in the back of the van so that the bumps and the, just the
Yeah.
unsturdiness causes inflicts more pain. So what happened after that?
I remember being woken up at the precinct, getting smacked up to waking me up and take me out the car and take me to the precinct right there, the 114.
114th, yeah.
He showed up with my girl and
Yeah.
tried to, the wifey basically,
That shit was crazy.
and try to get my possessions because, I was going to be put in the system for doing absolutely nothing.
So
You
did
know.
they put you through the system for that?
Oh, of course. When I went to see the judge, he said, what happened to you? I said, your boys did this to me. Look at me. I was all beat up.
What did the judge say?
Time served. Let me go. There was nothing to hold me for.
It
They
was-
said disorderly conduct, but what did I do?
What did
Disorderly.
you do? His whole what's the name? The cops didn't do their job.
Let me ask you something. Did you ever file a formal complaint?
Of course I did.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The
Got
next
everything.
day, I think we went to CCRB.
We went to St. Luke's. I got checked out. And
Of course, we
went,
did that first.
Yeah, and I went to CCRB, yeah. My lawyer handled that. You know what I'm saying?
What was the outcome?
Well,
If you don't mind us asking.
took some time before anything, but I think they got some type of discipline.
Or it was said that they got disciplined.
Sad.
It was said that they got some discipline, but at the end of the day, that's not enough for somebody to feel the way they did.
I think because when I'm hearing, it sounds like they gave you the response that basically shut you up, got you out the way.
it didn't shut me up because I never felt the same. Even
No,
when
and I'm
more
saying
than
shut
ever.
you up as far as not pursuing a lawsuit, not pursuing jail time, not pursuing like a stronger accountability. And I think that's to be you're my man. I think that's where you made a mistake. You probably should have really pushed it all the way, because every time a person gets away from doing some type of crime, They do another
It fortifies them. Yeah, they think that's the
one.
right
Yeah,
way to
they
get.
do another one.
Well,
I remember a situation I was in. I think I was young. Maybe like my first child. I just had my first child, and somebody got in contact with me, said they needed my help, and I didn't understand the situation, so I wasn't really going to help, but I was going to assess like what was actually happening.
Right.
When I get there, I found out it was a friend of mine who had a fight with a cab driver. And someone else tells me, he says, he needs you to call a cab. So I'm like, mind you, I don't know what cab service he just got out of, who he had to fight with. I didn't see anybody.
Right.
As soon as I get there to where this area is at, I pick up the phone to call a cab, but I see the cop coming towards me. Now, I probably could have dealt with this differently.
Right.
I probably could have dealt with it differently.
Talking about me.
But we talk about what actually happened, right? So I didn't do it differently. I didn't, so I responded. I saw the cop running towards me. I said, in my head, if the cop is trying to pursue me, he needs to state his presence. So I turned around. And when he grabbed me, I grabbed him, did a judo flip, and flipped him over. But that was the point.
So, that was an outcome for
Going
me.
to jail.
I got taken down by two cops with my hands on my chest.
When he grabbed me, I turned around. So when he grabbed me, as I turned around, I just kind of like backed him up.
It was just one cop though, right?
One cop. Right now, when I did that, he tried to pursue me again. And I'm trying to talk to him. That was a wake-up call. Like, listen, we don't want to get physical because there's no need, and I didn't do anything. And I don't think you can win anyway. Like that's not what you should do. So
You can't beat me.
He kept trying to
Basically.
he kept trying to be the aggressor. So
I think
kinda
he
hurt his
should've
pride
looked
if
at
he did
that
that. If he showed his
situation
strength.
that should have
differently.
woke him up and be like,
He
yo,
should have
listen.
been like, okay, wait, let's
So-
talk.
Mind you, what happened was I was black in Astoria, and the cab driver thought I was the one he had to fight with.
Oh,
So he pointed me out. So that's why the cop was coming that way. I didn't know all of that. That came out afterwards. So after he did that, now I'm looking like now he's trying to be aggressive, and now more cops are coming. I'm like, this is not going anywhere. Let me just give up, right? Let me just let them do what
Right.
they have to do to see where this is going to go. So I lay down. I lay all the way down.
You put your face on the floor?
Nah, I put the face on the floor. I'm Queens, man.
He said I
didn't put-
sprawled out.
So I
I don't
lay
want to
down.
put your
my face
clothes
is
on
up.
the floor.
Yeah.
But as I'm laying on the floor, now it's like 6 cops on me, right? I'm like, in my head, there's no reason for you guys to be on me because
Yeah.
I'm not combative. I'm not.
Yeah, if you
had
had
a
a fight,
or they
Yeah,
were
I
just
gave up
over
already,
you,
right?
or surrounding you.
They're on top of me. You wanna
See, I know what that felt like.
So now the female cop, she comes and like literally jumps and sits on my back. I'm like, yo, shorty. I'm like, what are
Fatty
you doing
bang,
right
fatty
now?
bang.
We don't. I already gave up. So
yeah.
needless to say, I tossed her. It was a whole little thing.
You tossed her.
Yeah, tossed her. She had to get up. So honestly, it was because it was all. It went back to aggression again. Because I already gave up, and now you're being more aggressive. These other cops there, they're holding me down. There's no reason for you to be on top of me. I toss her off. They get more aggressive. Now they got the cuffs on me. I let them put the cuffs on me. I stand up, and everyone from the mosque came. When I say everyone from the mosque came, it's like 50 brothers came from the mosque. The cops was afraid. They didn't know what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know what was happening. And he's like, no, let him go, let him go, let him go. So he's like, let's figure it out at the police station.
Nah.
Police station, right? Because they know I'm not in the streets. I didn't do anything. Whatever you said, I didn't do it.
Right.
He couldn't have done it.
Accusation, that's what it is.
So
And just a quick question. What was the cab driver? He was Indian or something?
He was Indian.
Okay.
He was Indian. But they realized I wasn't the person.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Bad about the Indians.
this whole commotion
I know where
happened.
where it took place at now. You see a story.
Yeah. No, it was on 36.
36 Ave. Yeah, I was about to say
So
that.
now
Shout out
now they
36
have to
Avenue.
because it was a big commotion.
Mm-hmm.
They have to basically, somebody got to go to jail.
Oh.
So they took me went to they took me in. A brother, he gets in contact with me while he's there. He said, "Listen, don't make an issue out of this. Call internal affairs, and we'll follow it up with you," which was the smartest thing I could have done. So I did that, and likewise, like you mentioned, they said that it was disorderly conduct, disorderly conduct, and something else, right?
Resisting arrest.
Resisting arrest, right?
Yeah.
You say, well, why are you arresting him for? So
Yeah.
how is this?
You gotta have a crime.
So
Yeah.
basically,
First of all-
the charges were thrown out, right? The charges were thrown out, and which lets is police brutality is real.
You can
Yeah.
get arrested for resisting arrest
Yeah,
Yes.
you can
without there being a reason to
A
arrest
reason,
you
no
in
reason,
the
yep.
first place.
They were
exactly.
trying to arrest you.
It's called
Exactly.
false arrest. It's low.
Crazy.
Yeah,
So
crazy.
yeah, so let's let me ask another question.
Sure.
Let's jump out of the doom and gloom. I don't want to tell my story.
Doom and gloom.
Yeah, let's.
I don't
Let's
want to
ask-
tell my story. It
Let's ask
brings so
another
many things
question.
up.
In your opinion, do you guys know who Nate Park is?
Nate Park.
Hold on.
Enlighten me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
do
me, yeah.
Dude, he's the character from the movie American Skin.
Oh, yeah, I know he is.
He in 1999 he was accused of allegations of rape, and he actually was acquitted. I think one of his friends he was convicted of of the crime or something like that, but he was acquitted, and I think it seemed to have stained his career in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got a little blemish, I can see.
It seemed like it stained his career in Hollywood a little bit, because it seemed like the Me Too movement. Once they put their knees on your neck,
Right here, right?
yes,
Yeah.
excellent actor. Once they put your knees on your neck, it's kind of like there's no way to get out of it. Once the Me Too attack you, you see this going on with T.I., and I'm not saying who's right or wrong. I don't know. Bill Cosby, I don't know.
When you say
Other
T.I., you made
people-
me think about
Other people currently right now,
Bring that back up.
facing allegations. But before they get convicted or not, public opinion persuades judgment.
Right.
The truth, I mean, the lie is better than the truth. It's more
More entertaining.
fluff in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more entertaining. It's more sensational.
Way more. Because you can make a lie up and make it sound elaborate, and the truth sounds like I didn't do it.
So the question I have is,
Very boring.
Yeah.
so the question I have
Dry.
is, people in that type of situation, is there any type of atonement for them? Whether they were guilty or not, is there any type of atonement for a person who's accused of any type of sexual misbehavior?
Sexual.
These days?
Nah,
not
you
really.
you get wrote off. Like, I mean, me personally, I would have to see the facts of the situation, because you got to think about like basketball players when they was younger, and you hear this a lot. They'll mess with a girl, and then her parents will catch them, and she's like, "Oh, he raped me," but truthfully,
It was consensual
it
sex
was
at the time.
consensual, sexual. I mean,
So, but let's just say worst case scenario, right?
Mhm. He did it.
They all do it. Let's say all of them do it. 20 years down the line, he went to jail 5 years, 10 years, or whatever. He comes back as a very praiseworthy person in the community, advocate for peace, and against sexual harassments and things
He has
like
to
this.
find his own
Shout-
peace.
Shout
How-
out to Beyonce. To the left, everything on to the box to the left. Get him out of there. You did it.
Is any way to?
No,
He has to find his own peace.
he got to find his own peace. Don't be in front of the camera
Mind you,
no
that comes
more.
Move away far from
That
where
comes
you
with
were.
employment.
Because
That comes with
If
housing.
you are,
That comes with a lot of different things. That's a
But
whole
they have to
jacket
register themselves
that
if
you
they
never
do
want to
that.
be in.
yeah, you got to
involved
register
in.
yourself. You got to put yourself out there. But if you did it, why wouldn't you? I would want to know. I got a daughter. I want to know who you are. I don't want no pervert. Just listen. If you live there, don't ever do anything where I have to judge what you're doing or guess what you're
I mean,
doing.
Are you
I
saying
think,
wrongfully
yeah.
accused or just
Lawfully, because you're saying
wrongfully,
it.
if
I
they're
think they should just
wrongfully-
stay their natural life in prison, because it would never be the same out in the
Listen,
streets.
castration is what I was saying. If you rape somebody, castrate them.
wrongfully
their joint
accused
off.
is a lot
You
easier.
never
that's-
do it
that's
again.
crazy
They
as a
didn't
man.
do it.
Why?
Right? But I still don't think they shake the stain of being accused.
Well, I mean,
barbaric, man. That's savage.
Listen,
I think
I believe kings
honestly,
die
I think only
without
one
their head.
person. And with respect to the deceased, I think Kobe probably was the only celebrity person who was accused of something like that and kind of bounced back.
because
think,
that tall guy and that little she was with it, man. She was a groupie. Let's be real with ourselves.
I mean, that's what was exposed. But
we knew it was true regardless.
I think what happens is people don't care when they hear those heinous crimes, they don't care about the truth.
Right. What was you gonna say though, Jay? Sorry.
I mean, it does happen. I think people get accused
Wrongfully
all the time,
accused, yeah.
and it's just wrong, and it's one of those things that I was having this conversation at work, came up. I don't know how it came up, but it came up.
Somebody told the truth.
Where I was asked a question, if and it was asked to me by a female, if a woman gets raped and enjoy it, is it rape? I said, well, yes, it is.
Yeah, it's still rape. Yeah.
If she gets raped, indeed, what?
Wow, that's
She
a good
enjoys
question.
it because
I would
they do
love for the
climax.
women to. I
They-
would love for the women to enter their comments in the comment section to answer this question.
I told her about
That's a good question. Is women, if they get raped and they enjoy it, is it still rape?
Well,
it may be
they get a
sexually
sexually
But
Yeah.
Okay,
sexual climax.
So
from it.
climax,
Of
yeah,
course.
she climaxes off of it
Right.
because it's the penetration of it. But go ahead.
Well,
I'm
see,
sorry.
no, it's,
Hold on,
okay,
let's
okay, that was
not,
yeah.
not to say it's enjoyable.
Okay, that was
Yeah,
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 that's
yeah,
a better
yeah,
word.
It wasn't a
Yeah.
forthcoming willing thing that she
it wasn't
wanted.
okay.
It wasn't
So
desirable.
The enjoyment of it
Got it.
is really
Because
not,
you enjoy it,
And
then
It was just the action that
that's
took
it.
place that
Yeah,
she couldn't
yeah, yeah.
control. That she,
I think
What
that's
I
yeah,
explained,
it becomes
what I ex-
complicated. But if a woman can, I mean, she's still being penetrated, so it's possible.
What I explained is that rape can be called at any time. It can be called before, during, or after the
After,
situation.
yes. Mhm.
So everything in the man's view could have been totally consensual, and then she
Change your mind.
and it's rape, and he has to deal with that one way or the other. And to
That's
go on
what
a
the
side
best-
note,
the best-
it kind of
Best practice, absence.
one of the things is it is you see this happening now because we have different things. We have like the red pill,
Yeah.
MGTOW, and you see like how guys are kind of withdrawing from even wanting to engage and have relationships with females. And I believe it's because of a lot of stuff like that. The idea that he can have everything go right, and everything goes right for the night, and he goes ahead and things happen. A sexual event happens with a young lady. He enjoys himself. He believes she enjoyed herself. But then after the situation, it winds up not being what he thought it was in her mind. And that's something that's
That has to be corrected because
it's troubling.
yeah, because like we'll get well. I don't want to pin myself into what's the name.
Yeah, I mean,
Men will be perceived as something when something was consensual in the time that they was together. And if a woman feels like I remember reading a story or seeing a story online. I don't want to tell you where I was, but seeing the story online, and it was a dude overseas. It was a dude overseas, and he had a unusual area, and the woman's cervix and what's the name was disrupted, and she blamed him and said that he forcefully penetrated her, but that wasn't the case. And the reason why they found it out was because they was in a club together, and due to the fact that he bust her insides, and she knows, and she knows that he's in a prominent place in life, like because he's a prominent.
targeted him.
Yeah, she targeted him. So the best way for her to make her money was to go to court, and then he had to like show proof of his area.
it's a good hustle for.
Nah, we do not encourage that. That is not a good hustle. That is not a look. Listen, we got to take the hustle out of. I told you on the last episode, we don't hustle. A hustler is somebody that can sell anything. If you're stealing from somebody, what she stole his sincerity.
corrected.
You know what I mean? Like
she
she
stole
made
his
him
freedom.
look
She stole
as
his,
lower than what
his
he
reputation.
was. Yeah, and then to the ladies that like to have their sides in bust, you know what I mean? For them ladies right there, they looked at him and said, "Oh, I got to get him." So therefore,
think
he had better deals coming
very,
on,
very
porn and so on and so
unfortunate.
forth.
Very unfortunate. So women who make false allegations.
I think they should go to jail just like the men. But the thing about the jail sentence for a woman that accuses somebody compared to somebody that is a accuser or the accused, he's going to go into jail and he's going to have hell. She's going to go to jail and nobody's even going to ask her. Nothing happens to the lady that accuses.
I don't think society knows or cares to the reality of what you just said. When you go to jail as a person who has any type of sexual violations, you are on.
You're shunned.
You're no.
Everybody on your
there's
top.
a target on your back.
Yeah, everybody on your top. Yeah,
there's a target on your back. So if you didn't do the crime, you will be paying for the time, because when every time it's to the point where when the CEOs walk you through the jail to your,
they tell everybody.
They basically saying the rapist is here.
Rapist is here. Yeah.
Yeah,
they walk you through to be the target.
If the situation is that he did not do what they said he did, he definitely will be paying for it
regardless. Yeah.
Right.
So I think that they should definitely have some very severe punishments for a person who makes up some kind of allegation like that.
Now let's dig a little. Well, let's go on a different angle. How do we feel about, like you were saying, like that was a good hustle for her? How do we feel about the people that walk into stores and fall down, or the people that jump in front of cars? How do you feel about them?
It's like, stealing. It's stealing.
Yeah,
but
definitely it's stealing. You're putting what you're doing is because it comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
If I'm a small store owner and you trip and fall in my store, my store has insurance. But who has to pay out the premium when
the owner?
When you go ahead and you sue me for
definitely
the slip and fall. So that's something that's unfortunate about our society.
Okay, so we're gonna man.
What?
After saying all that, I don't know if I want to answer the question.
You better ask it so somebody can give it an answer.
Let's change lanes. Lifestyle.
We need a little bit more.
So the question
intuitive to what the podcast is about. Confrontational.
Men.
We there with it.
Men mostly would choose sex over intimacy. Why
specify what you mean by intimacy?
And what kind of sex?
Well,
what kind of sex?
And what kind of intimacy?
Quickie.
With that being said,
we like to think our sponsor is lube. And oh boy.
With that being said,
big and long top hats.
Okay.
No more fifis in jail.
Okay. Order in the court. Order in the court. So we go with this. So. Right now, Governor Cuomo is being accused of.
Oh man,
he's not
like sexual impropriety.
Yes,
propriety. Yes.
Now we're not going to go into whether he did it or he didn't do it, or was it appropriate or wasn't inappropriate. Wasn't there? I don't know. The allegations are true, but I noticed that a lot of the Republicans and some Democrats are strongly advising or suggesting him to resign.
Yes.
Now, do we think that
he should resign, whether he did it or not?
But do you think that it has something to do with the whole Trump thing?
Enough damage.
Do you think that Trump has any influence on this allegation?
I have no idea. But what I think is the thing about Cuomo is he's not married. He's a single man. He's a man that can literally go out into the world but
you can't just find the women.
Hold on. Cuomo, he's not married?
No.
So he's just in a relationship. No, because they said that his girlfriend or whomever, I thought it was his wife, but they said that, look that up, please.
I'm going to get there right now. You know.
They said that she left him because of the allegations. Somebody, I didn't really.
I'm not sure.
Listen, I play the stock market. I try to make money. I don't really care about it.
Even still, he is not. He's not a married man.
He's not married.
Well, he was married briefly.
That's the thing.
They say he was married. He got I think it was.
Yeah, he has a daughter.
Yeah,
he's married.
Okay, so but my
what's his name? Kerry Kennedy.
My thing is,
okay, well, they
whether guilty or not, whether allegations are true or not. Let's say the allegations are not true, right?
Right.
Should he resign?
No.
I don't think there's a reason to. I think he caused too much problems, and
Is this a personal of you being a New York resident?
Of
He has
course,
a
I mean-
he's like, I don't like him all like that.
Yeah, a lot of people not view him to be their governor. It's very. There's a lot of.
But why is that?
I
Just
mean,
look at him and what he has done. Look at
King
the
Como
other
has a
allegations.
lot
I
of
mean, you
things
could be a
going
womanizer. That's one thing, right? He basically sentenced to death these seniors and these, assisted
So we're
living.
not
I
gonna
mean,
blame
that's-
that on Trump
Yeah, that's because that's not
because
that's
he
not
has
the
to make
issue.
the decision to
I
shut it
mean,
down. He only shuts
yeah.
down New York.
That's not the issue at hand. I think that
I mean,
I think
as a
that-
judge of character, what
I
he
think-
did.
I
I
think-
mean, I,
I'm-
won't
I think on the
blame-
scale, you knowingly going to let people, die.
Well,
I don't
I'll
think
ask
he,
this
no,
question.
I don't think
I don't think that.
I think he
went in
sentenced
with
him
that
to that.
malice.
We'll see.
that would be severe to say. I don't.
I'll
think
ask
that's-
this question.
I mean, it's not an extreme thought. It's something that has its place.
Well-
When you decide on things,
Well, wait up. When we talk about healthcare, is it really the government's place to get involved with people's healthcare? Honestly,
they do it all the time, though.
Yeah, and then if
Yeah, they do. Of
if we
course
were
they
to
do.
say,
Of
So I
They
say do it,
manipulate-
but
Hold up.
it's really
is
not
it their
their-
place?
I don't want to get sidetracked, but if we were to say that he's responsible
He's very
for
not
that,
liked.
then we have to hold
In a lot of
all the
different
other
communities.
Yeah,
governors
yeah,
responsible
yeah.
as well.
We had all the
You know,
governors,
'cause it wasn't just
all the
only
way up
New
the
York State.
chain and-
Yeah.
And we were behind. Like when COVID hit New York City, in New York State, we were already behind because we didn't know that COVID was here months before they even.
and we're so clustered out
But
here. It's
my
so
my
clustered.
thing is,
Right.
my thing is in
You
situations
think
like
he
that
knowingly
where
let it go though?
no, I don't think so.
No,
I would
I
if
don't- I
I
don't
I'm not a
think it-
gambling man, but if I had to gamble, I would say no.
yeah.
But I
think it was
would
a
my
personal
question
vendetta.
is in a situation like where he's in now, where he's saying he's innocent, they're saying he's guilty, and he is saying that he's saying that he didn't do it,
Innocent, yeah.
he's innocent. I think
preserve
personally,
his
if
innocence.
anytime a person bows down to those type of allegations, it is looked at as he is admitting to it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, it looks at as there is a force that's to be reckoned with, and you can never beat them when the allegations are being
Right.
made.
Right.
So it's like, well, when do we stop false allegations if we can't even challenge it?
Right.
So that's just
He
know.
doesn't have the blue wall.
I don't think anybody blue black in him.
Yeah. So
Nobody
with
has
that
the
being
value.
said, thank you for following. If you reach this point, please continue to follow. Please continue to subscribe, like, comment, and please leave your comments in the comment section. We would definitely love to hear your feedback.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Peace.